Welcome to the Red Raider Coach Show. I'm your host Shane Bell, along here with head coach Coach Cofer. We're going to talk about this past week, this season, what we've had this season, the ups and downs, and the good, bad, and the ugly. Coach, this is not a fun week to talk about it or what happened last week, actually this season, where we went, where we thought we'd be. But just kind of give us a recap, first of all, on Friday night. We'll get into that, talking about that. McIntosh Academy comes in 3-5 on, or 3-6 on season. Sorry, we come in 5-4, looking for a win. Pretty good crowd there Friday night. Everything there. What do you think? What happened Friday night?
Basically, what I said was coming. It went exactly the way I thought it would go. Actually, thought we had a chance to pull it out there at the end. Things didn't go our way, but haven't practiced well, and it showed. More excitement from McIntosh coming out. They got some good-looking athletes, just like they had last year. A little bit more excitement. I thought they were a little bit hungrier than we were at the beginning of the game. That's why they took off, and they got the early start, and we didn't. Just started out bad, and our kids hung in there. We played, good second quarter and a good fourth quarter. Other than that, we had to keep them at bay, and didn't do a whole lot offensively in the first and third quarters. They punted us down there in some situations. I don't know how many times inside our 10-yard line, inside the 5, about 3 or 4 times that we had to start down there, and it just makes for a long field. And back is against the wall right there in the end zone, and they got a safety out of it, which ended up being the winning 2 points right there. But didn't start off as a good night.
Well, and again, we had a lot of bad stuff on our side, but as far as the 2-point down, we went back and looked on the film. That was definitely a 2-point. We talked about it. The referee actually told me at halftime that he hoped we didn't lose by 2. The fumble that was happening, I've had a lot of people ask about the fumble. Have y'all gone back and looked at the film? Was there a fumble down there?
You can't tell. I mean, all the kids said that Jacob just was trying to get up, put the ball down, and hopped up right quick. And we kind of go over those circumstances all the time. That's why I tell them to, we try to go fast, hand the ball to the referee, make sure that he gets the football and goes. And we put the football down on the ground and got up pretty quick. And not blaming him, but that's inside the 5-yard line. That's another scoring opportunity that we let pass by. So it ended up costing us a little bit also. So I don't know if it was a fumble or not. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I say we had our opportunities inside that.
Right.
I spent a lot more time tonight, Coach, or this afternoon, talking about our seniors, on a positive note.
Right.
And I just give you this opportunity to kind of go through your seniors and talk about them, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Give us a little something on some of them, if you can.
Good group of kids. Very quiet group of kids. We've talked about this many times about leadership and stuff like that, and they all led by example. They all did, and did a great job, and all that. We just didn't have that one person or that group of people to speak and to get everybody's attention like a coach needs to. And that kind of hurt us a little bit, but a good group of kids. You had 10 seniors. I hope I can remember them all right now off the bat. Yeah, but Metrius Williams, Brody Fitchett, Ron Johnson, Aubrey Carter, Hakeem Peterson, Jacob Carver, Petey Simmons. Let's see. I'll think of them as we.
George?
George is a junior. Screws, Coach Screws.
Yeah. Coach Screws, yeah.
Got
our Aubrey Carter in the city helping us back in here.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm sure we missed 1 or 2 right there, but I'll think of them before the end. But just a good group of kids, and should have had my list right here of seniors. But a good group of kids, very respectful, and play hard.
Position-wise, you got Aubrey at quarterback. I mean, Metrius receiver. Look at their numbers all year, leading in Aubrey. Passing-wise, big man he showed up in the top 25 as far as receivers. Hard guys are going to be able to replace next year. Do you see in this group going to the next level as far as college?
I mean, they all have a shot. You know, we've preached when we got here, and I'm sure it was preached before we got here. These kids have to get their grades in order. I mean, we can just do so much. We can help you make highlight videos and put you in a position to win on the field and put you in the spotlight on the field and getting you the football or making plays defensively or on special teams. But they're going to have to do their part in academics and in the classroom and behaving there. Right now we're on the borderline with a couple, 2 or 3, as a matter of fact, that have to get their grades in. We just can't. It's not as easy as it sounds on TV. And you play well and you're a good football player and you just get a college scholarship. That's the way I used to think it was when I was little. But those academics have to be in order. We don't have people beating down the door as so to speak right now, because they're probably going to go look at somebody that has those grades right now and does that. But definitely Jacob and Demetrius, Aubrey. Big man. Dakota Screws has got some possibilities of playing because of his size. I mean, he's huge. Keem Peterson, all heart. Keem's got a shot. The only thing that's going, and we don't make any secrets about this, guys. Keem's only problem is his height and playing on the offensive line. But there's no doubt in my mind that Keem could play center somewhere small. We're going to work for him too, and doing that. But just sent off before we started this show. Just sent off 15 emails to recruiters. Had Kennesaw State call about Demetrius today. Western Carolina has been contacted me the past 3 weeks about Demetrius and Jacob. So just because you get contacts doesn't mean they're getting offers or anything like that. But we got a 6'3", 180-pound quarterback that's thrown for over 1,600 yards. I don't know if anybody in Bacon County has ever thrown for that much or had was 63.7% accurate. That's a good percentage out there out of Aubrey. Threw for 13 touchdowns and 4 interceptions compared to his 5 touchdowns last year and 11 interceptions. He just took off with this offense, knew what he was doing. He's a coach on the field. He'll be a great coach one day. But sometimes stats are going to hurt Jacob and Demetrius a little bit because they missed some playing time. Big man had especially great 3 weeks at the end of the season. Ended the season very well. 54 catches for 858 yards and 13 touchdowns. Had a great year and didn't get to play in a game and a half. He would have been over the 1,000-yard mark, no doubt in my mind. Had 10 catches for 137 yards this past Friday night. That's Aubrey scrambling around a little bit. Big man doing that. LeGondrick Snell had a big night catching the ball too. Xavier Hayes, I want to mention Xavier and Brody. Xavier got hit on an out, caught the ball, but it looked nasty when he got hit down in the legs. It was a nasty hit, and it looked on purpose from my viewpoint watching it over on film. We got a call against us, 15-yard penalty for celebrating us hurting the quarterback a little bit, knocking him out of breath. And then I watched one of our kids who's probably messed up his knee, and got about 10 or 20 kids celebrating because my player's hurt. I didn't think a whole lot of that. That's low class to me, but we don't approve of that for our kids to do that, and I wouldn't want any other kids to celebrate somebody getting hurt. Brody didn't even know he was hurt until somebody told me at halftime that he had broken his collarbone. I remember when he asked to come out of play, I looked at it on film. He went down on a tackle. He got right back up and ran another play before he ever came out. So that shows you a little bit about Brody Fitchett and his heart and wanting to stay in that game until that series was over right there. But played another play with a broken collarbone. So I appreciate Brody giving a lot of heart out there too. But just a lot of improvement from some of these guys, and got a lot more carries like Brody. Xavier's got a lot more too. Xavier's coming back. He's just a junior. But getting back to your college, and we want our old kids to go to school, period. Whether they play college football or not, or get in the military or whatever. But if we can get these guys some free education, we're definitely going to take advantage of it. So we're in the process right now, sending out everybody's stuff as we have been through the summer and all that. But we got their highlights up, Kids have been working on their highlights, put the music to that themselves. I've seen every one of them right there, and they put together some good stuff. So, we'll see. But it's not just highlights alone. They want to see game film too. What's your kid doing away from the play? So if big man's running the route, he's not catching the ball, and the ball's throwing to the other side. What's big man doing on this side? Is he blocking on a run play that's going to the opposite side? Is he hustling on this? So that's why they want to see game film as well as highlights.
Well, Coach, we'll take a quick break here. I'll give a recap here for the season as far as I know breakfast game this year. First Baptist Church and from donations have fed the football team. Done an outstanding job, Mr. Coach Bordeaux, Mr. Gavin Vickers, Mr. Bentley Carter, Mr. Joe Hayes. Missing somebody here.
Kids.
Clint Burkett. Most of those guys come out every Friday and feeding these guys. It's just a testament to this community and what they want to do or willing to do. And our sponsors that we couldn't do this without. Titan Modular donated the building this year. Big shot in Armed Force. Bennett & Johnson, always a big contributor. Richmond Bacon, Clean Air and Electric. First time platinum sponsor. ATC, Flash Foods, Julie's Gifts and Boutique, that was able to give us the way we could do these games as far as the internet and streaming those games live with giving us electronics for that. So just a lot of help, and we do want to say thank you to those. And if you're watching this, if you can use these companies in any way or these businesses, try to shop locally and use these guys because they really Coach, finishing up on that MCA game, then we'll kind of give a recap of the season. But we were talking in the break there, and I couldn't remember if that was a call play or, not a call play, but a design play on the sidelines. You already had it, but you said it was in the
playbook.
In the playbook.
Right.
I had some people ask, was that something I had to try to come up with?
No.
And the other question was there a thought of kicking a field goal there? And I know that's on the right hash. That's got to be one of the toughest kicks in football right there.
But that wasn't the reason. Let me go back and we'll start back with the series. We had to go a little hurry up right there and start throwing the ball around a little bit more, which opened up the run and a screen for Jacob. So, I think it was on the last series, big screen right there, which I thought he was past the line of scrimmage. But we got away with it right there. And then he breaks a run on a GT. They had everybody on their team basically backed off, so we just ran the ball right at him, and he broke it for about 20-something yards, and then we did it again. Probably should have just kept going with it, but I thought they'd pack more people in the box right there. So we went with Horseman. Time was not a factor. We worked like that the whole time. I had my eye on the clock the whole time. We had plenty enough time to get in the end zone. If anything, I thought we had too much time.
I was worried about having too much time.
Right, but I didn't want to play it, too cute and try to get in there and do it wrong. But on the second play that Jacob ran down there, it was already first down, and I looked back at the film again today, and it was on the 10-yard line, but it was on the inside of the 10-yard line, so we couldn't get a first down on that run. So his first run, or his last run right there in there, was down to the 4-yard line, which made it 2nd and 4, or second goal from the 4 right there. We put in horsemen. We've preached all year, all summer. This is nitty gritty. We practiced it all week for 2 weeks about trying to get our swagger back and, just getting it in there. We lined up in a funky formation. Jacob actually lined up on the wrong side in Lion and ran 15 wham, which was to Demetrius. Demetrius gets it down inside the 1. So it's 3rd and goal from the 1, and we repeat the same play to get back up on the line, catch them out of breath, and Demetrius takes the ball, takes a step, and then the ball falls and goes back. So 4th and goal from the 4. So we still had all 3 timeouts left. At that point, when we were driving, my whole thinking was, well, if we don't have to use timeout, we'll use it for defense to make sure that we're prepared for when they have to go down the field. I think there was 1 minute and 3 seconds, something like that, and MCA for some reason calls timeout on fourth down. I think everybody thought we called it, but we didn't have to. The whole time before that, and then that time after they called timeout, Aubrey's right there in my ear saying, "What about kicking it?" And I remember saying, "Yep." And then first thing that entered my mind was, Aubrey says he's going to kick it. Well, he hadn't kicked in a while besides kickoffs. And I'm not putting somebody different in there to kick. If anybody was going to kick it right there, it would have been Dylan Kelly. Okay? Dylan was, and everybody says, well, Dylan's perfect on the night. He's 2 for 2. Well, Dylan Kelly doesn't have a whole lot of experience. Dylan Kelly hadn't played football before. And then what's going to happen is if he makes it, it's glorious and all that. If you don't think I've second-guessed myself, you're crazy. 1,000,000 times the whole weekend. But my thing was, if he misses this thing, everybody's eyes and everybody's attention is going to go on to Dylan Kelly. I was not about to put him in that kind of situation. I was still thinking about it in the huddle right there. And I said, just to get some more time, I said, all right, we'll call Rhino, which is when we shift in the horseman to the right, and we'll freeze it. And I said, let me see how they line up. So they did. They didn't jump. I was hoping that we would get 4th and 2, or 4th and go from the 2. We didn't get that, so I called timeout. And I got Jacob Carver telling me that he's going to get it in the end zone. And so he and I are going back and forth. And I said, Jacob, it's 4th and 4 from the point. We're on the 4-yard line. And I love when the pressure's on, the kid wants the football. So what do you do in that kind of situation? Well, if you're college football, or you're in the NFL, or you're in high school football and you have a kicker that it's kind of like the K-Row kicker, you have no doubt in, you kick the field goal and you win it. I thought the best thing to do at that time was put it in our best player's hands. Only thing that was power option pass left, put Wesley in the game to catch it. Jake, if the hole's not wide open, pop him right now. He comes open. We kind of hesitated for a minute, and then he threw it, and he just kind of overthrew him a little bit. It was open. We had numerous chances to get it in the end zone. It shouldn't have come to that point. But if I had it to do over again, would I kick it? Well, knowing what I know now, yes. In the same circumstance, no. I'm not putting Dylan Kelly. I'm not letting Aubrey kick it because Aubrey hasn't kicked an extra point in weeks. And I'm not putting that on him, even though I would, he wanted that on him to do that. But you put the ball in your best player's hands. And we did that. And we just came up short. It wasn't lack of effort at all. But we can't, you fumble it when you're going into it on the 1. And then, it kind of puts you in a bad situation. The right hash, to me, that is you want it in the center of the field. But yeah, that right hash would have probably been pretty bad too. But it's easy to see or easy to say that kick the field goal right there. But I wouldn't do that to Dylan Kelly to save my life.
Well, like I say, we had other opportunities. It wasn't just that series. We had other opportunities in there.
Right.
Well, Coach, going off from the MCA game, going back just through this season, recapping, we play a tough ATCO team starting off. We did played them well. Cairo come in, we played them better than expected again. Take Lanier, take Pierce, and then had a tough game with Charlton and Benedictine, and just let me ask you this: after the Pierce County game, would you have thought we did in the season 5-5 the way we were rolling at that point?
No, not in a million years. I think that's what makes it so bad. You know, I take all this stuff personal. I wish I was one of those people that were very patient and could just let it roll off their skin, and we're going to head into a new year. It's going to take me a while. It was pretty devastating Friday, just to be honest with you. It was pretty bad. It's been bad all weekend. I don't make any secrets. You know, it's life, and you got to get over it. There's some humps that goes through life, and you know, we preach to these kids the same thing. If you're going, how are you going to rebound? But you know, we don't have another game, so I got a little time to rebound right now. But it's pretty devastating. You know, these kids and coaches put in their effort to everything right now, and you just saying that, just you know, that even makes it worse. Talking about after 2-0. I mean, I think about it all the time, but 2-0. You know, at the beginning of the year, in the off season, people were saying, you know, when I got here, I don't know what you're gonna have after your first year. All this, and I thought, shoot, we're gonna win. We're gonna win some ball games. I think that last year carried over to this year a little bit. I think we hit the ball rolling in the summer. We were so far ahead. We looked 10 times better offensively and special teams wise, and except for the block punts Friday. That's another story. But I thought in some aspects we were way ahead, even though we had a lot of newer kids, a lot of younger kids, a lot of smaller kids compared to what we had last year. But I thought that we came in with a great attitude. You know, I still think we ended with a good attitude. We got good kids. You know, I can't say that enough. I've been in some places where there were some good kids, but these are great. We got great kids here at Bacon County. I can't say that enough. Love every one of them, but injuries happen to key people. I think it lost when other people had to step up. I think some of them did, and I think some of them didn't want to step up quite right now. And I don't want to say it cost us any. I just think it didn't get us any better at the time. And I think we got better and better as the year. I think we picked up on some things offensively, special teams wise, as far as kickoff. Kickoff return was excellent this year. If anybody's noticed, nobody would kick us the ball anymore because they were afraid of Trey or Big Man or Snell running one back, and that's a good threat. That's a good problem to have right there when they're trying to kick it everywhere else. And Coach K and Coach Brown and Coach Wilson led that on the kick return. Did a great job. Trey did a great job on punt returns. Aubrey did a great job on punting or quick kicking. We had some problems with that Friday. Why in the world we pass blocked and let people go, I have no idea. Friday, but overall, you know, the kids in the first game of the year, they break the single game scoring record here at Bacon County. Friday night, they broke the season scoring record. They did that in 10 games. They actually did it in 9 games, but they broke last year's record in 10 games and didn't even play the 11th. You know, I did some stats this morning. We ran more plays. Our yardage was better than last year. Was I expecting that either? No. I think it was just the kids knowing what we were doing and getting into it the way we want to. We didn't have some things go our way. You know, we beat Pierce. I think, believe it or not, I think after Pierce was a vote of confidence for our kids, and at the same time, kind of did a nosedive a little bit. I think beating Pierce and Jeff Davis for some reason, key things to go on, and that can't make or break a season. And not that that was the whole thing, but I just think that, you know, it's looked at as being a great year if we beat Pierce and Jeff Davis, and it's not to me. That's not the only thing. I thought we had a lot better season last year, doing that even though we didn't beat Pierce. But you know, I didn't think we got better.
Well, I think the season changed, in my opinion, when beat Pierce would go into Charlton County, and then you big boy Jacob goes in there and comes out there injured.
True.
It seemed like it changed the demeanor of the boys. Like that was their safety net. They knew if Jacob could get the ball, even if we couldn't pass, everything else was doing so.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, Coach, give you a chance to shout out on your coaches. You got Coach Wilson, Coach Langford, Coach Brown, Coach Kiner, good coaching staff.
Right.
They're with us all year. We don't talk about them much on the coaching show, but we got a great coaching staff and those assistant coaches. And we talked about middle school already, JV.
Myra Diaz, come to the front office. Myra Diaz, come to the front office.
All these coaches have done a great job. You know, recreation up, and we talk about high school coaching or middle school because we're all in the same school. I'm fixing to go see the rec team play today at 5:30 down there at Morris Johnson Stadium at the old high school. Go watch those young men play. I think it's the 7 and 8 year olds. They're scrimmaging today, and then they play Saturday, and I'll be out of town, but I wanted to go see them today. They're all into it too, so I want to show my support for them. But all those coaches down there are just like these up here. We're all together in this thing and trying to build a program from the bottom down, and or the bottom up, excuse me, and trying to get all that done. And they've done a great job this year, and so is the middle school. And just hate that we ended on a sour note, especially in front of our home crowd right there. But coaches do a great job. Coach K has done a great job. You know, he called the 2-point conversion right there at the beginning of the game. Big man got in. The referee fell down. I think he understands that he made a mistake, but you know, sometimes you're gonna miss a call like that, and you know, things happen. So
well, that was another question I had about that particular play was, just like in baseball, he had an opportunity as a head coach to say, "Can you ask for help on that?"
I did.
And he refused. I thought I remembered him saying he just wouldn't ask, or he refused to answer.
You know, I asked the head official. I asked the one that's I think it's called I don't remember which one it is, right there behind the referees, and I got yelled at. He came back and apologized at halftime. Said, "Coach, I couldn't hear you because of that." So he was apologetic because of that too. But you know, yeah, he could have had help right there because he fell. He didn't see the end part of the play. And but you know, it's not just that play.
No.
There was many plays before that, but Coach K does a great job. Did a great job with that all year, calling those plays. He even said, "Man, I shouldn't have called that right then." I said, "Shoot, we're trying to get a little bit of momentum. If you saw something, then we call it." All of our coaches coach. It's not just me making calls out there. All of our coaches have say-so out there in what we do, and that's the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a group effort, and that's why it's called a staff, not just one person. But did a great job right there. I thought our defense, you know, we gave up some rushing yards to the quarterback, but we gave up little cheap plays. The last touchdown on jet sweep, I don't know what happened. He came in motion. We didn't come across. Saw that on film.
Myra Diaz, come to the front office.
The pass was pretty pass thrown there at the beginning for the first touchdown, but you know, things happen. We didn't get it going offensively. That's the way I was looking at it going into that. So you know, Coach Langford, Coach Wilson, Coach Scott Brown did a great job defensively for us, trying to get some younger kids, some smaller kids in there and get them some reps. You know, kids that stuck out to me, McKean, Aubrey, of course, Jacob and Demetrius. Big man had a great 3 weeks. You couldn't stop Big man. Akeem Peterson, Wesley Cothran. You know, I think those guys stood out big time. Tito, Zebion Brown, in the past 2 games defensively was everywhere, and he's tiny, and but he gave a full effort out there, and I thought he got better at the end of the year. And that's what you're looking for. So, you know, some of those guys right there are coming back, and we need them for the future.
All right, Coach Wilson. And side note on Coach Langford, he cuts the grass on the field, does the behind-the-scenes stuff that you never get to see or appreciate.
And all the painting.
Yeah, so we want to say a big shout-out for Coach Langford for doing that. Mr. Brent Johnson and the BCTV stuff, filming all the games each year. doing the coaches show.
The Peavy's doing a great job. You know, I watch that every Saturday morning, and you know, I think Mr. Peavy's worried about what I'm going to say after that. That's what I do on Saturdays when I'm watching Auburn. I think they do a great job, you know, being positive with the kids and the coaches and all that. Do they second guess some stuff? Well, shoot, yeah, but that's what football's all about, and that's what announcing's all about. You know, I think that's a positive thing. I think they do a great job. Just want to give them a shout out also.
Yeah, but there's people that we're probably forgetting, but there's a lot that makes this go on Fridays and out of town and everywhere else, so we do appreciate all that you put forward. I know we have forgot some folks, but we do appreciate what you do for this program. So, Coach, for the 2015-16 season, we're going to sign off, and hopefully we'll be back here in about 9 months doing this again. So for Shane Bennett and head coach Coach Cofer, we will see you next year.